In five, four, three, two, one. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Moon Tea Podcast. We're your co-hosts, wherever Hugh is. Today we have the one and only Alvaro Borjas.
Guys, how are you?
Dude, so good, so good.
It's an honor to be here. It's great to be here, guys. Thank you.
Dude, it's an honor to see your face and to have you in this virtual Zoom room thing.
Likewise.
I'm good. For some context, Alvaro and I met when we were in a little monastery in France in 2006.
16.
2016. Yeah, and we were roommates.
Wow, this is amazing. What?
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I think like every other day we would be like, dude, how ridiculous is this? We're just like yeah, I think I have Alvaro's birthday on my calendar, so I'll wish him a happy birthday every year, and we'll talk every 6 months maybe. But I think since then, Alvaro has gotten married, has had a kid, moved to Texas, just got a house, just killing it, just moving up in life, and the rest of us are just trying to keep up with people like Alvaro. So,
Come on, man. No way. No way. But thank you for that introduction, man. That's a big introduction. I don't know if I'm gonna be up to the challenge to that highly creative, but thank you so much, man. Likewise. Even though we don't speak that much, it's just always really good to connect with you and just to know where you are. You're always moving around, so that's pretty interesting. My first question is, where are you living right now? And you're always doing interesting things. We definitely met doing something really interesting in a monastery, just living a monastic life with a lot of interesting people. That was super fun, man. That was really interesting, and it's always just really good to see you, man. Definitely.
Yeah. I'm in New York City right now, so I've been living at my apartment since mid-August, and yeah, that's it. And then my friend Hugh is in Arizona. Works as a design, like a head of design at his company, and we're friends who met back in San Francisco, and we've been doing this podcast since like January. So we try to do a weekly podcast, and we'll like invite our friends on, have an excuse to hang out with them for an hour, and then we put it on the internet, and if anyone wants to listen, then they listen to it.
That's cool. Well, I had the chance to catch up with them with pretty much all the episodes. I tried. Once you told me you were doing a podcast, I thought, man, that has to be really interesting, and it was really entertaining. I drive a lot, so I had a lot of time to catch up. So it's pretty cool,
Wow.
man. What you guys are doing.
Wow, really? You listen to it?
That's incredible.
Well, believe me, I drive a lot, and yeah, sometimes driving is just it's just lonely, man. And yeah, it's like hearing just a conversation between friends. It's pretty cool.
So what's up? Like where are you in life other than all the awesome things that you and your family have accomplished? And like where are you driving to, and how have you been in general?
Well, we've been pretty good actually. Like you said before, we just bought a house, which is pretty cool. Again, like I told you, we got this country with just $400 in a suitcase. I sound. Have you heard like these old people like from the 20s, 30s, 40s, and they will tell that to the third, second generation immigrants. So I'll be that person in the future, and I'll tell that to my son. But that was actually true. So yeah, we're just really thankful, man. Life is good. It's just a simple life, and that makes me happy. I enjoy being with my wife, my son. I think I told you about that, but we tried different businesses. We're living the dream still. We're just my wife designed this um, kitchen item, cool things. There's just a lot of things for kitchen, and we're just selling that on Amazon. We're doing. I was importing Honduran products. I am born and raised Honduran my whole life, so we were doing that as well, and just selling different things on the internet. I'm a theologian as well. Actually, my vocation is a worship pastor, and but right now we just moved so far away from our congregation. Right now, we're looking for a new one, and for the most part, I'm doing DoorDash, and I like to think myself as a crypto enthusiast. That's why I like your podcast. It sounded like crypto for dummies, and I mean that in a good way because it's so confusing, this whole crypto world. And the most it's great when you can just break it down for everybody. Like it's there are many things like to understand. Sometimes there's a lot to process, and you guys are doing a good job with that. And yeah, we're looking to do that, just invest in different things, not only crypto, different big businesses back home. Well, it's not home. It's called home, Honduras. This is my home now. But like back in Honduras, there's a lot of friends doing great things back there. So pretty much we're doing a little bit of everything.
Damn. Good stuff. Wow, dude. I am so impressed. That is amazing. And oh, you forgot to mention your wife is a real estate agent.
Well, not exactly. It's
Oh,
funny, if you don't have the actual certificate, well, you're not considered a real estate agent. But she pretty much knows everything on real estate. She's really good at that. But currently, she's just in charge of all the businesses and things we're selling online, and she's pretty good at that. She is better than me, so for the moment, she's just in charge of all that mostly. So that's pretty cool.
wow. Okay. Wow, that is amazing. Um, do you ever listen to Taize hymns once in a while? Do you ever
Oh yeah, I do. I do actually. Yeah, I do. I I guess they're not for everybody, but they're pretty relaxing, and they'll just help you meditate, even though you haven't had the experience to be in Taize and be immersed in the culture. It's just pretty relaxing, I will say. What about you? You still hear them once in a while?
Yeah, I was listening to Tizay hymns while biking a lap around Central Park this morning.
Cool, man. That's great. That's
I have a
Something to
great.
do.
question. What's a Tizay hymn?
Alvaro, you want to go?
Well, actually, I don't know if I don't know. We should explain people who's listening to us what they say. I think that'll be a good point to start. Like for us, we're really familiar because it's quite an experience. And so they say it's this community in France. It's a monastic community, interdenominational. Everybody's welcome, and it's just a group of brothers and monks, basically. And they have opened up the doors to everybody from all around the world. And when I say all around the world, I mean all around the world. You'll have people from everywhere, and you just have the chance to live in community, to serve others. There's this what's the name of the prayer meeting center, Church of Reconciliation, I think it is.
Mhm.
So we will meet 3 times a day. We will pray, which is pretty cool because basically we sing hymns, which are pretty simple. They're really easy to sing, and we will sing in different languages, and usually they're really short phrases. So it's pretty cool because you'll find yourself singing in German or Chinese or Italian or Latin without actually knowing the language. And silence has to do a lot with the liturgy of the whole place. So we'll just sit in silence after singing and just meditate, man, or pray or whatever you want to do, or just enjoy the silence. And I there's so many things to say about Taize, but I think that if ever world peace is achieved, it will start in Taize, because it's such a peaceful, welcoming place where you meet great people, and where you serve others, you learn to live in community. Um, if you're searching something deeper, spiritual, it's a good place to start. It's a silence place. It's a silent place, a peaceful place where you can just pray, meditate, think, and it's pretty cool. So the Taize hymns John is talking about are the prayers we sing 3 times a day at that place. Usually you're staying at that place. So,
That's so cool. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What year did you two go? It was 2015, 2017?
2016,
2016.
right after I left San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Taize for 3 months. Alvaro, I think you were there for 1 month.
like a month, yeah, a month.
And yeah, so when I was there, I discovered that Americans are allowed to be in Europe for 90 days. And so I was like, oh shit. On day 90, I went back home.
Oh, that's amazing. What is it that brought you out there, Alvaro?
Well, honestly, my story's not as cool as John. John probably was on a journey, a spiritual journey, and he thought Taize was a good place to start. But for me, actually, I heard about Taize before because of friends, but I got there because I was working with the Christian organization World Vision. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but I guess it's kind of big all around the world. And I was sent, I guess, like in a program or some sort of experience, international experience thing. And yeah, actually, I was super blessed. I was super lucky because, again, I heard about the place. At the moment, it didn't look like an option for me to go. Like it's not easy, like to just stop life and go and be a volunteer for 1 or 3 months or even more. And I just got the chance, and I got paid for that, which I don't know if it actually I could be called a volunteer because I was being paid by my organization while being there. But it was just a great, amazing gift for me. I was pretty lucky actually. So
We did a bunch of weird things, like spend a week in silence.
oh yeah.
Like what else? All these like hippie Europeans were there.
So every time we talk about Taize with John, it's just really funny because we met the most interesting people in the world. You cannot even start to imagine their stories and their backgrounds. And yeah, it's good. I mean, like in a good way. We just realize that people are so different, and even being so different, it's really easy to connect if you're willing to. So that's pretty cool about that community.
I remember Alvaro comes in one day and he's like, dude, I just asked someone where she's going after Taize, and she told me that it's always been her dream to work with miniature ponies. So she's going to a miniature pony farm and she's gonna volunteer there. and then he and I were just like, when do these people ever like, I don't know, support their families or, you know, save for retirement or like just like, no, miniature ponies are the goal.
There's about 9 to 5 when you can raise funds for a living. That's insane.
That's amazing. Yeah, I bet you would meet the most interesting people from around, because it seems very just agnostic to anyone. They could just come and have a great experience, supposedly, right? Yeah. It allowed Jon in. I mean, that's no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Why'd you go there again, Jon?
I had been there once in 2013. I went for a week at the time, and when I left, I was like, I wanna go back someday. I hope I go. So when I was in San Francisco, I like quit my job, and then I was like, oh, I saw that there was like a $60 one-way one-way flight to Sweden. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
it's easier to get to France from Sweden than it is to get there from San Francisco. So I went there and then made my way over to France, and then went all the way back, and then I stayed as a volunteer. So when you stay as a volunteer, you don't have to you don't like if you if you go there for a week, then you make a donation, and then you can like stay for the week. If you go there for longer than that, you can stay on as a volunteer, and you like don't pay anything, and you have more responsibilities, and you just like it's like we didn't pay anything to be there, but we had work. So it would be like cleaning up spider webs, or like making breakfast, or just like totally random jobs. I had a job where my job was to like find like make sure teenagers were not smoking weed and like drinking and stuff. So we would like walk around at night, just like random jobs. I don't know. You remember any of your jobs, Alvaro?
Yeah, they were pretty easy jobs, basically. I feel that we have these responsibilities as a tool to engage with our other people, because we will have to work with people from different countries, different backgrounds. I guess they did it randomly, and sometimes you'll have to work with people who didn't speak the same language, and you were able to be friendly with them, and there were people who actually built friendships without speaking the same language, which I know sounds insane, but it was actually possible in that context. So uh, I remember probably like making beds in some rooms, or just picking up trash. Nothing really difficult. For me, it felt more like a social experiment in a way, but we were helping that community. But I mean, it was a social experiment because I don't know, these guys, like these monks, are pretty wise. Like they'll put you in this like everyday situations, just doing random activities and serving that community and serving others. And I guess they know that when you work together with other people, I don't know, you build relationships. So it's pretty cool. Well, that's at least that was my impression, at least. So yeah.
I remember I spent a week in silence, and I went on this long walk, and then one day there was a, what was it? It was a snail on the ground, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this snail cross the road, and I just watched it because there like I was spending the week in silence, like I wasn't doing anything else, and I remember thinking I will never get a chance to do this like ever again. Like I'm just never gonna do this.
You were planning going back?
Uh, I don't know. I think because I guess when you're above 30, you can only stay for 1 week.
Yeah, it's a different experience. That's right.
Um, yeah, I'm open to going back. I was actually like not too far. Like I was in Lyon for like 4 days. I think like 3 years ago. But I was there just to eat food. I would like to go back. Yeah. How about you?
Let me know, man. I want to have you as a roommate again. I don't know if my wife is gonna be down for that, but it'll be cool to be roommates again. Now, we're in different life stages. It will be a different experience, but I definitely want to go back. I want to take my wife. She have heard so many crazy stories. She knows who Jon is. She definitely have heard a lot of stories about Jon. Good things for the most part. So don't worry about that.
For the most part.
Yeah, it's all good. And yeah, I think if possible, like I will recommend like anybody, like for like to go at least once in your lives. It's a great experience. It is.
I don't think
Oh,
anyone can really pass up the opportunity to watch a snail cross the path while in a week of silence. That sounds amazing. Honestly, I kind of want to do this.
I think it's you have to do their kind of thing. I think we're not doing a good job, John, explaining people like the whole dynamic, how they say.
I don't know. I don't even know how to like. I don't know.
I think we're not explaining that like clearly, but the cool thing is that life is hectic in general, like pretty much all around the world. So just to find a place um in which taking time to do things like what John said is something that was actually encouraged, maybe expected from you being in that place. It's a place which it's okay for you to slow down, and like for us nowadays, 21st century, times we're living, that sounds almost impossible. That so I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. I feel like whoever is listening to this right now and is curious about it, like there's a website, there's a lot of Europeans who may have gone, and you can probably ask them. But other than that, I feel like you have to just show up uh, and just like stay for a week and see what it's like. It's a lot of fun. Like depending on the week, there's anywhere from like 200 to 3,000 people there, and um, a lot of like young people. So most of the people there are from like 18 to 29. A lot of people from Europe. It's a lot of fun, and like the common language that people speak is English, but they call it Taize English, where it's like sort of right. Um, yeah, every week there's usually someone from like Korea. There's I don't know. There was like one or two people from America like every week, which is small, really, considering how big the US is. Um, so yeah, it's just a really great experience, and like I think that was the best that my Korean and Spanish were at the same time. Since then, I've lost most of my Spanish, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was very different from the like tech startup San Francisco world that I was coming from, and that I was very exhausted from. Um, I guess since then I went into the finance world, but but I'm glad I had that experience of 3 months to just like I don't know, it sounds so cheesy, but just to like feed my soul, um, and just do something really memorable, and also hang out with Alvaro. So
Cool, man. That was pretty cool. No, it's not cheesy at all. I will totally agree. Uh, Nowadays it's all about things we can see. It's pretty much a material world, and yeah, things like related to soul, spirit are they might sound corny or new age or even I don't know, like made up for some people. But it's good to hear your soul, man. Like once in a while, sometimes we need to rest and feel peace. We all deserve some peace. So that was pretty cool.
yeah. Um, so what like how's the move been? How have you been feeding your soul? Um,
I feel like I still practice many things. I learned to say I just love to sit in silence, meditate, and pray. And I'm just a big fan of silence, which I know it sounds horrible, man. Like I was reading this book when we were in Taize, a monk lent me this book to know like how to rest and meditate and all this stuff and just uh, contemplative prayer. And there was a line that stuck out to me, and the author says, by sitting in silence, I learned that I could not stand myself. I cannot be alone with myself. It was impossible to be with myself. So that really stuck with me. So I practice a lot of that, just contemplative prayer, and just I like being alone and being in silence, not in a weird, creepy way, but we just need like to cool down sometimes. So that has helped me a lot. And there's other thing, we have these we had a brother, we speak like once a week. I don't know if you have one. I had a
Yeah.
Catalanian brother Pedro, and was from Spain, and he gave me a really great advice, man. It sounds so silly, but until like probably I used this yesterday. So he told me, have you noticed how your mind just works really fast? You have thoughts you don't want to and you don't need to. Just think of your mind as a train station. And when you stand really close, like to the train lines, you will see them pass really fast. And you will be able to read anything or to grasp anything or faces or anything at all. And it's just going to be like a really fast thing in front of your face, and you won't even remember a thing. So just think of your thoughts just think of your mind as a train station, and just consider that you have the ability to move your thoughts like really fast. Negative thoughts, things you don't want to think, just think of them as a passing train. And he didn't mean that like literally, but it helps for me like picturing the train. I'm kind of childish like that, so I actually picture a train taking my thoughts, negative thoughts. So yeah, it's something that stuck with me. Yeah.
I did something cool where I had a few friends over, and we were about to get dinner like in the Upper West Side, like a very like, you know, a lot of people that are like eating at a nice restaurant and like dressed nice, and it was like a Friday night, and then and I was like, oh, I used to do this thing when I lived in a monastery where we would listen to classical music and eat in silence for the first half of the meal, and then the second half normal conversation. And I was like, and I really liked it. And then my friend was like, let's do it. I was like, okay, sure. And then we went to this restaurant, and we're like, as soon as the food comes, we're just gonna eat in silence for 10 minutes. And we did it, and it was awesome. Like that was so much fun. And it's like you could hear it's like New York City, everyone around you is like and then we're just like
That's so cool, man. And I just thought that's a great tradition, because I feel most of the time we speak without thinking. And to be honest, that's something I admire about you. I always had the impression that you think a lot before speaking. So it's the thing I learned from you, and so I'm thankful for that. And I just thought that context of us having a meal in silence with classical music just helped me work a little bit on that. I'm still working on that, but I realized I just got that impression. You were always really careful with your words, and I admire that, man. That was pretty cool.
I mean, I think I am because of all the mistakes that I've made when I didn't do that. And so I think I just got better at pretending like I'm thinking more before I speak. But
It's working.
I appreciate it.
Working, man, definitely.
Yeah. Hugh, you have any random questions for Alvaro?
There's so much to unpack. Goodness. So, what is it about your wife that made you fall in love with her? And her you?
Well, I love that question, because it's funny. We used to, like, I met my wife 10 years before we started dating, and we used to hate each other with this, like, absolutely our faces. We didn't like each other at all. We were not attracted at all. I'll say we even hate each other a little bit, which is really funny. And like many people, they were like even offended when we started dating, because we didn't like each other. We were like from different gangs, with different groups, and I was like with a hippie slash rocker slash metalhead slash emo slash everything weird outcast people, and she was like on the preppy slash rich slash, you know, you got the impression, like. So it was like a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing. And so we're part of the same youth group at Honduras, and we had a lot of friends in common. But again, we didn't like each other. We had the wrong impression of each other. I thought she was kind of stuck up, and she thought I was a bit of pretentious, and we were both right. But besides that, we had other good things, other good traits, and other things besides our negatives. So we just so I like to teach a lot on theology, on the Bible. She wanted to grow spiritually, so that's how we start our conversation. We had many things in common related to faith, and we just realized we both wanted to help people. So we started just gathering people and helping people and shepherding, I guess, people. And then we became friends, and I don't know, something changed. And so it's pretty cool because my wife, she's really attractive. Actually, she's really pretty. Like, she's like Hollywood pretty, like for real, like really, really pretty. And which is hard to believe if you look at me. I don't like math, doesn't make sense, but she's really pretty. But I was never attracted to the way she looked. So it was pretty cool. Like when we became friends, and I realized she was really funny and smart. She was really smart, actually. And all these things, we just felt in love, I guess. So yeah.
Wow. So there just came a moment. And you're just like, all right, well, let's go on our first date.
Yeah. She says I trick her, which I think I did, but it was not on purpose. We started hanging out like with the same. We brought our gangs, our rival groups, and we made a whole group of friends, a bunch of friends. Let's hang out, and I just like we were like chatting all day basically. So we were already falling in love, but we were like kind of in denial, I guess, because it was such a weird thing to say that we were like falling in love. But I told her like, yeah, we should hang out, and she thought everybody's coming, the whole gang, everybody, our whole group of friends. But I was actually just telling her. So she always says that I trick her into a relationship, which probably I did, but it was not on purpose. So yeah, and we had like the coolest first date ever. So yeah.
Oh, do tell. What is this? I need to know.
Have you seen these movies by this guy? I can't remember his name right now. I think it's called. It's with Ethan Hawke. He's walking around Paris with a girl he just met that same day. Something about sunset, I think.
Sure, we'll figure it out someday.
It's a trilogy. Well, so basically, the movie's about a couple who they are meeting, and they're just having this interesting conversation in cool romantic places. So it felt like that. It felt like a movie. Like they could have recorded the whole thing and just make a movie about that. It should have been a blockbuster. We went to this small town in Honduras, outside of the city, a small colonial town called Santa Lucia. I mean, the name is cool, man. Santa Lucia, which the food is great. You get great views of the city, beautiful climate, a small romantic town. And we just walked around the town, like just walking and talking for hours. It was pretty cool.
Wow. That's amazing. And now you have kids, and
we have a little boy, our son, Ezequiel, which is Spanish for Ezekiel. And yeah.
What do you think is one of the most important things to look for in a relationship that makes it healthy?
I think that, well, two things. You got to look for someone who makes you a better person, and you need to find someone you are willing to just give yourself sacrificial love to make that person grow as well. So this is, for me, it's like that. Like, there's people who have this complex of helping others. They'll see someone in a terrible personal situation, and they feel like they have to rescue that person. Or there's people, they got a victim complex, they want to be rescued. And if you're there, like, I'm not judging, like, just love yourself and work on yourself, and once you're ready, like, to give it all, sacrificial love. So that's, for me, that's what it's all about, actually. So yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Are you guys dating or on a relationship, or?
And don't even ask me. No one wants to put up with my presence. Let's not.
What about you, Jon?
I have a girlfriend. She has not been on the podcast yet, and the reason is that my mom will like devour it the second it goes on. So she wants to meet my mom before she goes on to the podcast. But yeah, uh, yeah, we've been dating. What month is it? November. We met like a year ago, um, through a dating app, and then we were talking for a while. This is when I was in Seattle, and she was in Vancouver, and then she long story short, she like came to Seattle. Um, we like hung out on the weekends, and then I went back to LA during Thanksgiving. She went back to Vancouver during Thanksgiving. We kept talking, and then she also works remotely, or she works remotely, and so we were both like, oh, let's do that thing where you like go somewhere and you work from there. And like we both wanted that, so we're like, oh, okay, do you want to try Portland? And then we had this thing where we were like, oh, if we don't like each, like, I'll do like a 2 week trial period, so I'll come to Seattle for 2 weeks, and if we don't like each other after then, I'll just go home. So it was very like, we are like, oh yeah, if we don't like each other, like I'll just go back to LA, it's all good. And then I ended up moving up in January. We lived in Portland in February, and then I stayed there until the lease ended, which was in June. And then sometime in we were not dating until sometime April. So we never talked about it, but at some point, like, I knew I was going back to New York City, and she was thinking about it. So there was a weekend where like her brother got into grad school in New York City, and then her like really close college friend was looking for a roommate. So like all these things came together, and then she decided like, okay, I'm gonna move to New York City. And then shortly after that, we are like, okay, like, I think we should date. So yeah, that's it.
Cute. Oh,
Or to
what do
make
you? Yeah. What's one of your favorite things about your relationship dynamic, Jon?
Oh, a lot of things, but um yeah, I think there's a lot of like laughing and just being silly. um and I think we both have like, we both like do not want like a traditional, we don't want things that like fit in a box. So I think kind of like where we are in career and life and stuff, it would be like, oh, let's start looking for a house. And then, oh, let's start looking at like nice neighborhoods for like nice school districts and stuff like that. And there's a lot of reasons to do that. But instead of doing any of that, we're just like, oh, wanna both quit our jobs in 2 years and then like save up enough to live in like Japan for a year. And
That's
then
so cool.
like you and then we're like, I don't know exactly what I want to do. And I'm like, I think I want to do graduate school. And then she's like, I think I want to be a barista.
Yeah, that's rad.
Um so
Graduate school too, of course.
um so yeah, I think like similar, it's nice that we're on a similar wavelength in terms of like, oh yeah, let's go do that fun thing. Why not?
Cool. I love it. Sounds
But,
healthy. Approved. No, I was kidding.
but this is the Alvaro episode, so
I
we'll
have a question for Alvaro. Are you ready? You said you're into crypto, and I'm curious of what your thoughts are a bit more on just crypto, and possibly if you have any insights into how Honduras possibly perceives crypto. I was talking to a gentleman in a Lyft the other day that was from El Salvador, and it was
Oh,
mind blowing in a way.
Yeah, well, it's kind of sad, because Honduras and El Salvador are like, in a way, they are like the Argentina and Uruguay of Central America, but they're really similar. Actually, they're Spanish. It's pretty similar. They have really similar cultures, even though they're different countries and got big differences. But they are even more real now because they have this new president. I don't know if you have heard about him, Bukele, who's like really popular, and he's like really cool hip president. He's pro crypto,
Where's
and
it? Where's it backwards baseball cap?
yes. And then we have Honduras, sadly beautiful country with more resources than actually than El Salvador, bigger. But sadly, our president, it's been linked with drug trafficking and I guess criminal organizations. Actually, his brother is in jail in New York because he's a drug lord of a drug cartel, and he's the brother of the president of Honduras. So I still get, for you to understand, the backgrounds are really different, even though we're just neighboring countries and we're really similar. I will say El Salvador is thriving, and sadly, the Honduran people, they're really fighting back. But there's no other way to put it. They're living under a dictatorship. The thing is, not many media will cover it because it's not a left dictatorship. I'm sorry if I'm getting way too politic. I'm just trying to
Oh,
give a
please. This is
context. So
fantastic.
it's absolutely um, full conservative right hand um, dictatorship. So that will raise less flags in a way because it's not left socialist ideology. So they were pretty smart with that. So sadly, El Salvador is thriving, and they're creating this whole ecosystem to support crypto and just making crypto everyday thing. Actually, it's pretty interesting. They have been doing that even before it became legal, even before the president uh, just passed laws and created a system for that. They were really into crypto. And in Honduras, sadly, crypto started as a sort of Ponzi scheme because they have all these guys working with forex, and they were doing this sort of like, I'm not saying Omni Life is a Ponzi scheme, but like you invite someone and your friend invites two other friends and they gotta pay. And so basically, they introduced the whole concept as a pyramid scheme. So people, um, they're just catching up really slow. They got a lot of they perceive a lot of red flags, even though there are not. It's just that they associate crypto with a Ponzi scheme because of the way it was introduced to the country. So sadly, yeah, basically I'm the only person I know. No, I got a couple of friends, not close, probably acquaintances that they're really into crypto, but I'm like a big crypto enthusiast, and I'm trying like to invite everybody to participate and just do their own research, and so that even that is really hard. Like even people, they don't feel comfortable with that, but I'm living the dream. I'm trying to get my people into crypto. And again, I'm not an expert. I'm just an enthusiast. So yeah, but I think it's a great concept, world changing thing, history changing thing going on here.
Which cryptocurrencies are you into, and what makes you excited about it? And
Well, right now I'm huddling because Bitcoin is my biggest bag. I'll say then XRP. I got into the hype of meme coins as Chiba Inu and Safe Moon. I had a decent amount of Ethereum, and I'm not ready to talk about this because I lost my Ethereum in a really dumb loop. I'm still healing. I feel really sad about that, but I'm planning on getting some Ethereum eventually back again. But yeah, mostly that's what I'm holding. I got some Cardano as well, and what else? Some smaller bags, I guess, on altcoins. I can't quite remember right now. Yeah.
Amazing.
crypto veteran here.
I'm curious of all of those, they all have similar and differing ideologies, philosophies, technologies similar to. And what is it about, if you were able to say what in a few sentences or a bit, what is it about crypto that you think is important? What is it about some of those possibly that you think is a value add, or why people should tune in or not? What have you learned along the way, and what would you like to share?
So honestly, we gotta be honest. Most people just get into crypto because they see crypto as stocks, like the same dynamics. You buy on the dip, and, and then you get your gains and you get out. But which is not bad at all. Like we all need our gains. We all want our gains on our investment. But what I like the most is the fact that it's decentralized and it's open to everybody. And the same things we can say that are real about money are real about crypto, um, in the sense that people will say, "Ah, it's not backed by anything. It feels unreal." So what makes you think that a piece of paper is real? But the value that you give to that piece of paper, or what the market says, or the whole system. So the fact that crypto is so young as a currency, and it's growing so fast, and many things is happening with that, and it's open to everybody, and it's uh, the fact that it's related to technology, and that's the way we're bringing the world together through globalization and technology. It's just a way of giving everybody a chance. That's what I like. It feels like crypto is giving everybody a chance. And I'm telling you that because I have both worldviews. I have lived here in the States for 6 years now, 5 years. And I live most of my life in Honduras. So I got two worldviews, and I understand the American point of view. And I have this Latin American point of view, and not any Latin American point of view. I come from one of the poorest countries in the world, and in Latin America, and you know how rich people say, "Hey, poor people are poor because they want to." Like, well, you're poor because you want to. There are a lot of opportunities, and that's not true in third world countries. There's a lot of social differences, and as a country, there are many things, many opportunities we don't have as a first world country. Things you actually get for granted, things you were born with. It will be even crazy when to start to make a list of the things, the way we have to swim against the stream. And I don't want to sound as a victim. Like we're happy people, and we're just grateful with what we have. But I mean, like globally and as an economy, as a country, we're not born with all the opportunities. So I just think like crypto, man, it's giving a chance to everybody. Just look at Venezuela. They're super into crypto because their economy is just a failed system, basically. So I'm sorry if I got too political. It's not my intention. I'm being too political today. I'm sorry.
No. You good. Um, follow up question for all of that. Like given that you come from like where you and your wife come from, and given where you and your family are now, like what are some goals that you have in the medium and long term? Like obviously like probably like, you know, you want your family to thrive and all that, but like are you like, do you still have a lot of connections back in the Honduras, and you want to like help out the community there, or are you I don't know, or are you like trying to be like a influential theologian? Like I don't know, like what are you like, yeah, what are you like aspiring to? Are you trying to be like a crypto master, whatever that means? What are some things that you're like dreams and ambitions?
First of all, with my wife, our dream is to bless every person that has a chance to meet us. We just want to make people full of compassion and peace. And first of all, we want to start building from the inside to the outside, and just start just with the basics, man. That's what we believe. Like as a Christians, it sounds so cliche, and I know like being like Jesus is our first goal, man. And I know that for many people that doesn't sound like a goal, but even taking the religious aspect of it, just being a human being who thrives in helping others and just fighting for justice and equality. As a theology student, I have this concept of Jesus of just breaking paradigms, and just being really radical in his and the way he loves people. And first of all, I will start with that. Second, I would love to. I write music. I don't know if I'm any good, but I'm a singer songwriter, and I want to keep creating music, which is a fun idea. I was influenced by that by Taize music. I like to write 21st century liturgical music, music that usually Christian music sounds like what you usually hear on the radio. I don't want to sound like that. I want to sound like something that that sounds spiritual, otherworldly. I like otherworldly music, otherworldly art. And it's interesting. Short story. When the Prince Vladimir of Russia was looking for a new religion for the Russians, he sent envoys to the neighboring countries to find a new religion for the Russian people. And the one who went to what the moment was Constantinople, was the capital of the Christian faith. In his report, he said something in the lines of, while they were worshiping, I wasn't aware if I wasn't sure if it was heaven or earth, for this faith is full of transcendent beauty. And they received this faith because of beauty. So I'm just a beauty seeker. And I don't know if that story made sense. What I mean is that it's amazing to create things otherworldly, like they feel like they come from other world. Transcendent beauty can change your life. So I would like to make really, really, really strange liturgical music, and we would like to be investors with my wife. Invest. Our dream will be to live on passive income and just have free time to live life and enjoy life, and yeah, we will love to see all these things happening, and obviously be an influential theologian, write some crazy book in the future that some people's gonna hate and some people's gonna love. Those are the best ones. So hopefully I'll make it. Yeah.
If anyone's curious, Alvaro is on Spotify, and we'll link it in the show notes show notes below. Yeah, good stuff. I'm following you on Spotify.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Hopefully I'll put some new music next year. So
Ooh,
weird music, but hopefully it's nice.
the weirder the better.
I just don't think that, but thank you. Hopefully it will sound good.
I'm excited. I'm gonna listen to it. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have at least 2 followers. It'll happen.
That's good. I don't have that many, so I appreciate them.
I think it's been an hour. I'm actually not totally sure, but I have a question for Alvaro, which is, if what are some parting thoughts or words of wisdom that you have for our 1 or 2 listeners? And I know you have a lot of wisdom, so put in as much content as you want.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to live up to the hype, man. But thank you. Well, it's really difficult to put my finger on something, but I would just invite people to be kind, to love one another. And I know it sounds silly nowadays. It sounds even not sincere, because in some way we just feel we have the right to feel offended or to resent something, or to protect our things fiercely. And there's things we can share and there's things we shouldn't share because it was really difficult for us to achieve them. But I think for me, the biggest tool, like, for you to grow as a human being and to prosper, is to celebrate the victories of others, and to show compassion to others, and to forgive, and just to try the best version of yourself, to be kind to yourself as well, and to always keep growing, even if you stop for some reason, or you're hurt, or you're depressed or sad, or you don't want to keep on going, I think important thing is to don't stop, just keep going. And I think everything you put into people, what you put into people, that's what you will receive. And even if you don't see it, it's a lifestyle that's gonna make you happy. For example, it's really weird. We just moved to our new house, and we heard from a young family in our church, that they smoke here and they didn't have furniture, so we just gave away our furniture. So we just have like 3 chairs and some patio furniture in our living room. And I know it sounds stupid, but we just feel really happy. And I don't know if we will ever. We actually never met them, and we just thought it would be really cool to receive free stuff if you first came to this country, like we did with pretty much nothing. So yeah, that's our philosophy. Just trying to help others even when it's hard. We live in sacrificial love, so yeah, just try it out if you haven't, and yeah, that'll be all.
You heard it here first. You're in North Dallas, right?
Yeah, really up north, really, really north.
Okay. I'm gonna be in Houston and Austin next year in May, but I think Dallas is far from both of those two, right?
It's not so far away. 4 hours from Houston to from Austin, so it's not so bad. Maybe we can catch up in Austin. Like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll be there for I think a week for a wedding.
Oh, that's great.
And yeah, I haven't been to Austin in a few years, so it'll be fun. Oh, and my company has an office there, so
Oh, really? That's cool.
yeah,
Man. That's cool.
hopefully they have like snacks and stuff there. um, but yeah, also if you ever find yourself in New York City, I'll be here as well.
There someday, not a far future, hopefully.
Or Gilbert, Arizona now, or in Phoenix. Maybe just let me know.
Gilbert, Arizona.
Not too bad a place, but hey, who knows? If you're ever here, though, let me know.
Cool, and I heard Arizona is it's really nice as well.
I can't complain. There are pros and cons to it, like any place for sure. I grew up here, love it though, so not too bad. I'm gonna have to be that guy. I'm gonna have to be that guy, Alvaro. You know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to say thank you so much. So much. You're one of the kindest and most generous and giving type of personalities we've had on the show yet far. And I really want to say thank you so much for spending the time and honestly teaching all of us and about what you believe in and sharing kind of sounds cheesy, your gift, I guess, just you being you. And this is the end of another episode of the Moon Tea podcast, where we talk about craft and community. And I think we say building meaningful careers after that, but I think we should add on to community of like how you can kind of take notes from Alvaro and being a really meaningful community member and being a really positive person. So
let's also add monastic life after that.
Absolutely. Like theologian, monastic life, just having a very spiritual and just well-rounded grounding and being a polyglot in a way. So thank you so much, polymath. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the Moon Tea podcast. We'll be around hopefully next week. See ya.
Peace.